really a tremendous gift for me to be able to learn Torah and to share what I learn and what inspires me with all of you beautiful people sitting here today, and for all of you listening online, welcome aboard. This week's Parsha is Parsha Behar. It is the 9th portion in the book of Leviticus. It's talking about the holiness of the land. And we know that the theme of the book of Leviticus is about holiness, attaining holiness, preserving the holiness. And now we're talking about the holiness of the land. But if you think about it, the Jewish people are not yet in Israel. They haven't yet arrived in Israel. They don't know that they're going to be punished with 40 years stuck in the desert. But we get the commandments as given by the Almighty through the hand of Moshe. We are taught the laws of what is going to happen when we arrive in the land, and we're learning about the laws of the sabbatical year and the laws of the jubilee year, the 7th year and the 50th year, and that cycle keeps on circling every 7 years, every 50 years, etc., etc. But the obvious question that all of our sages ask, Rashi here points this out. Let's first read the verse. Vaydaber Hashem el Moshe behar Sinai lemor, and Hashem spoke to Moshe on Mount Sinai, saying, Daber el bnei Yisrael, speak to the Jewish people. Ve'amart aleim, and you shall say to them, Ki sovo el aretz, when you arrive to the land of Israel, Asher ani nosin lachem, that I am giving to you. By the way, another promise that the land is going to be for the Jewish people. V'shav sa oretz Shabbos laHashem, and rest shall the land rest, a Sabbath rest for Hashem. Sheishanim tizrasodecha, during 6 years you shall sow your fields. V'sheishanim tizmor karmecha, and during 6 years you shall prune your vineyards. V'asaftes tvuasa, and you shall gather in its crops. And then the Torah continues to tell us of how you should rest in the land and how you shall not work the field and you shall not do during the 7th year. Then we go to verse number 10 over here in chapter 25. V'kidashtem es shnas hachamishim shana. You shall sanctify the year that is the 50th year, the jubilee year. V'korasem dror, and you shall proclaim freedom ba'aretz, throughout the land. L'chol yoshveh, for all its inhabitants. Yovel hi tia lochem, a jubilee year it shall be for you. V'shavtem ish el achuzoso, v'shavtem ish el achuzoso, and you shall return each man to his ancestral heritage. V'ish el mishpachto tashuvu, and each man to his family you shall return. Yovel hi, it's the jubilee year. Shnas hachamishim, it is the 50th year. Tia lachem, that year should also be a time. Lo sizru v'lo siktzru eseficheo, you shall not sow and you shall not harvest its crops that grow on their own, and do not gather in what was set aside of it for yourself. And why? Because it is the 50th year. My dear friends, what in the world is going on here? What is going on? What is the 7th year? What is this 50th year? And how is that relevant to us today? And another question is, what does this have to do with Mount Sinai? Later, they're going to be in the land of Israel. They're going to be, hopefully, attaining their own promised land. And then we'll deal with it. What are we talking about now? And how is this relevant to us today? So, by the way, we'll see in a few more portions in the middle of the book of Numbers, we'll see in Parsha Shlach how Moshe sends in a bunch of spies, and they come with a false testimony on the land of Israel. And then the Jewish people are punished because they cried in vain. God says, I'll give you what to cry about. You're not going to enter the land. It turns out that all of those people who were there ended up dying in the desert, and it's only their descendants who ended up going into the land of Israel. So why do we need to know these laws now when they are still in the desert and going to be in the desert for still a long period of time? Our sages tell us something very, very incredible. The Jewish people, The Jewish people just experienced a modern day splitting of the sea. When the Jewish people left Egypt, they left on a high. It's like, wow, what miracles. We saw the 10 plagues. We saw all of the incredible miracles, how Hashem has power and might over everything and control over the entire universe. They see the splitting of the sea. They see all of the victories that the Jewish people win over their enemies, Amalek particularly. And what happens? They serve the golden calf. Today, in our generation, we experienced a very similar miracle. We had over 350 rockets, bombs, ballistic missiles, drone bombs that were flying to Israel from Iran. And how many of them hit? One. One fell, did some cosmetic damage in the middle of a field, cleaned up in no time. 350 rockets with explosives, and we're protected. Isn't that a miracle? And what happens a day later? They're fighting again in the Knesset. They're fighting again wherever the Jewish people are disputing. What is going on? Didn't they just see the greatest miracle in the world? What's going on with us? Our sages tell us that this is the reason for the 7th year sabbatical. The Shemitah year is to remind us that everything is from Hashem. You see, it's very, very easy to forget that everything is from Hashem. Everything is from Hashem. And this is a problem, is that even though the Jewish people saw all of the miracles, they saw it all. They saw the greatness of Hashem. It was all in front of their eyes. They had the revelation at Mount Sinai where the entire people were able to see the sounds and hear the sights. I mean, you think of all the miracles that were going on there. Hashem himself is declaring, Anochi Hashem Elokecha, I am Hashem your God. There's never been a revelation, a godly revelation like this ever. There never was and never will be something like that. And here the Jewish people are being commanded where Hashem says it's so easy to forget where you come from. It is so easy to lose sight of what's really happening. Why? Because we think that it's ordinary. Miracles become ordinary. It's like, no, it's just like, like we said this previously, we said about Hanukkah. Hanukkah is very interesting. Why do we celebrate 8 days of Hanukkah? Because one flask, which was supposed to last only 1 day, ended up lasting 8 days. We know the truth is that should be a 7-day celebration, not an 8-day celebration. It wasn't an 8-day miracle. It was a 7-day miracle because 1 day they had enough oil for. It was the extra 7 days that was the miracle. Sages tell us, because oil burning 1 day is also a miracle. The problem is we've made it seem like it's just ordinary. We think that oil burning is ordinary. No. That is also a miracle. My dear friends, we're all living in a miracle every single day. Hashem promises us that by the observance of the sabbatical year, we'll have a triple crop. The crop will grow a triple crop in the 6th year. So you'll have enough for the 6th year, for the 7th year, and for the 8th year. It's an unbelievable miracle. And you know what? You can test Hashem on it. It's one of the few times where the Torah says you can test Hashem. And the Jewish people for millennia have been observing, since the Torah was given, have been observing the laws of the sabbatical year and seeing the amazing results. Why? Hashem wants us to let go. It's what I call the Jewish hard reset. It's a time to reset who we are and recognize, God, I have nothing without you. Everything is from you. Hashem, I realize this. Hashem, I declare this every single day anew. But sometimes we fall away. Hashem says 7 years. Every 7 years we have to reset. And every 50 years we reset again. What happens? Not only our fields we let go of, but actually our property in the Jubilee year goes back to its ancestral owners. So if you sold it, it goes back to you. It goes back to the tribe of Shimon, to the tribe of Levi. Not Levi didn't get any land, but tribe of Yisachar and whatever tribe it was, they get back their land. You sold it, it's a 50-year lease. Why? Because you don't own anything. It's all Hashem's. Everything. It's so easy for us to fall into the trap of kochi ve'otzem yodi asali esachayil hazeh. It's my strength, it's my might, it's my wisdom, it's my abilities, it's my talents, it's my skills, it's me. I got it. I have accomplished this. I did it. It's all me. That's a very dangerous frame of mind, because that frame of mind pushes us away from Hashem. Every 7 years, Hashem says, we need to recalibrate. We need a hard reset. Get back, know exactly where you come from. Know exactly. The grapes are not your grapes. They're Hashem's gift to you. And remember that. You need to again and again and again go back to remembering that the vineyard is not your vineyard. It's not your skills and your talents and your wondrous, amazing capabilities that has brought you this. What happened on the 7th year? On the 7th year, anybody driving around in the land of Israel, anybody traveling around can go to any fruit tree, any tree they want, and just pick the fruits off the tree. It doesn't belong to the land. It belongs to Hashem. Hashem says whoever wants can take. There's no limitations here. It belongs to Hashem. You know, it's very interesting that we had an event here a little while ago with a winemaker from Shiloh Winery, Amichai Luria. And one of the things that he said so beautifully, he said that his accountant was crunching the numbers, and he says, if we take off the 7th year, we're going to go bankrupt. There's nothing left. We might as well close shop. So he says, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Hashem gives us a promise. We have the privilege to observe the mitzvah of the sabbatical. He says, in honor of this, we're going to create a special line of our wine called the privilege wine. And if you go to the kosher wine market, you will find a Shiloh Winery wine called Privilege. And it's one of their delicious wines, recognizing the privilege that we have to recognize, to live in an existence where we're dependent on Hashem and on Hashem only. The blessings. We think that, look at me, I have a healthy body. Look at me, I'm so talented, I'm so skilled, I have such a great business, I run such a great company, I am such a smart day trader, I am such a, whatever industry a person is in. I'm so healthy, I exercise every day, I lift weights, I run the marathon, look at me. And we all know that with one hiccup, it's all done. It's all gone. We need to constantly be reminded how fragile we are and how every gift we have is from Hashem. It's so critically important to recognize every breath of air that we take is a gift from Hashem. There's a million ways that we can be unsuccessful, and there's a million ways that we can be successful. And Hashem is the one who paves the way for us. And it's important for us to reinstill this faith within ourselves every single sabbatical and every single 7 years and every single jubilee. Rest it again and reset and reset and reset every 7 years. It's not me, it's you, Hashem. I recognize that it's all from you. I realize that it's all from you. By the way, this helps us with our midos, with our character. It helps us so that we realize we don't need to be jealous of someone else because I have everything I need. I can be kind because Hashem is the one who bestows goodness upon me. Everything I have is from Hashem. People are worried. Charity, oh, I can't do it. I can't give. What am I going to have left? And what's the promise that we see in the Torah? That if we bestow kindness on others, Hashem bestows more kindness on us. When we give charity to others, Hashem gives more charity to us. This is something we see from Shabbos. We see that Levu alai v'ani poreya. You don't have money for Shabbos? Spend whatever. Go borrow money. Hashem says, I'll pay it back. You're worried that it doesn't fit into my budget. Oh, I don't know how I'm going to make it. I don't know how I'm going to close my month. I don't have food. I don't have enough money to buy good food for Shabbos. Hashem says, you know what? Do it for Shabbos. I'll pay it back. It's on me. My dear friends, we need to remember that every single Shabbos is also a reset. Every day of the week we work and we convince ourselves that it's all me. We convince ourselves that I'm the one who's so capable. I'm the one who's doing everything. I'm the one who's so great. It's me, 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 me. Shabbos, we take a break from everything and we realize Hashem is the one who does everything for us. There's a story told about a kibbutz, a secular kibbutz, that didn't believe much in God, but they wanted to test Hashem on Hashem's promise. Hashem says, if you keep the sabbatical year, I'll bless you with unbelievable success. They said, okay. They produced a very fine product. And 7th year, they let the ground lie fallow and everything died out. Comes the 8th year, they start planting and nothing is growing, nothing is catching except for some very inferior vegetable, cabbage or of some sort. And sure enough, they're wondering, where's Hashem and where's his promise? Hashem says he's going to reward us. We kept the sabbatical year. And what's our reward? Turns out, I think it was Germany, that had a shortage that year of that specific vegetable. And they put out there in the marketplace that they're looking for a single vendor to provide the entire country. And they're willing to pay an exorbitant price for this vegetable. And this kibbutz, you can imagine, not only won the bid, but every single, there's no atheist in a foxhole. There's no atheist in a kibbutz that sees the miracle of Hashem, the hand of Hashem succeeding their way. All of these kibbutznikim, who are secular Israelis, were packing these bags with unbelievable joy and appreciation for Hashem's miracle. The miracle of keeping a Shemitah, the privilege of keeping a Shemitah, to let go of everything that we have, everything that we think is us. We know that King David teaches us that we should recite 100 blessings every day. 100 blessings. Why? So we constantly remind ourselves every single day that everything we have is a gift from Hashem. It's that easy to forget it. On a micro level, it's every day. On a macro level, it's every sabbatical year and every jubilee year, to reinstill within ourselves that everything is from Hashem, and to let go and let Hashem bring his success to us. It's not our doing, my dear friends. Hashem should bless us all to live a life where we're able to feel the pulse of our emunah every single day, to recognize that everything is a gift from Hashem, that we don't fall into the oblivion of everything is kochi v'otzem yadi. It's my strength, it's my abilities and my talents. No, it's Hashem. Hashem, it's yours. You're the one who gives all the success. It's all your will. And God willing, we will live in such a way where we will be the happiest people alive on earth, by recognizing that everything we have is from Hashem. My dear friends, have an amazing Shabbos.